these guys that jets out of town the day after. He typically stays around for the entire week before getting out of the snow and heading to sunny Southern California. And he said before he leaves, he will meet with general manager Brian Gutekunst and team president Mark Murphy. Now, he did say, I'm not going to go in there and demand that I need this or that. But the question is, Greeny, will he hear what he needs to hear in order to make sure that in his mind that his future isn't a beautiful mystery? That remains to be seen.
But what is that? What is it he needs to hear that would remove the mystery from it?
Well, there's a couple things that could happen. He could just play, and they could tell him, you're going to have to play, and that's it. You know, no guarantees of anything. He could then ask for a trade if he wanted to, or he could ask for more money. And to me, that's the most likely scenario here, is that they give him some assurance via the contract, not just words. We heard Mark Murphy earlier in the week say, we're not idiots, he's our quarterback. But they could give him real assurances by restructuring the contract to give him more guaranteed money, that he's not just living year to year. Even though he has a deal through 2023, there's no more guaranteed money left on that. So he could ask for the guarantees to show up and say, you know what, this is what I need to know that I am the guy.
So knowing him as you do, and you've covered him for a really long time and you've been around, can you foresee a circumstance where he leaves town this week, giving them the impression, hey, whatever you want to do is fine with me, I'll come back next year and there'll be no issues here?
You know, it's hard to see it as just status quo, to be honest, Greeny, after the comments that he's made over the last couple of days. Again, I don't think he's going in there and saying, you must do this or you must do that. I think he would like them to give him both verbal and financial assurances. And if he doesn't get it, well, then let's see what happens in April or whenever the offseason program begins this year, if there is one, if Rodgers participates. He could make this difficult for them if he wants to, or they could make it easy and say, you know what, Aaron, you just came off an MVP season. You're our guy not only this year, but for the foreseeable future. Now, General Manager Brian Gutekunst is expected to talk later in the week, and we'll see if he says that, if he goes that far, Greeny, and makes those assurances publicly.
Okay, we will definitely come back to you after he has done that. Outstanding work. Rob Demovsky, thank you very much. So let me go back to my crew here, and let's go back to this. Again, this is the part of this that I just cannot get through my head, Dominique. The one thing I can't picture Aaron Rodgers doing is saying, look, you guys, whatever you want to do is good with me. The timing is fine. You want to keep me another year. You want to not. I just don't see him doing that under any circumstances.
Yeah, he feels like he deserves to be treated better, and he does. And oddly, my experience at the Players Association is relevant right here, because all the quarterbacks always kind of, the great quarterbacks, the top-tier quarterbacks, they start to feel like they're a little bit different. And we had this in the union where the quarterbacks start to feel like they're not quite players, like they're a little bit higher. And then a moment comes for all of them where they realize you ain't special. They treat you just like they treat the rest of us when the time comes. It happened around the negotiations. It happened to Peyton Manning. We saw it happen to Tom Brady. Now we're seeing it happen to Aaron Rodgers. It's going to happen to everyone at a certain point. There comes a point when they realize, oh, you're just a player. You're just like the rest of them. Just because we let you come in the house and have lemonade a little more often than the rest of the players, when it comes down to it, when you no longer have the same value that we think you have, we're going to treat you just like we would treat a linebacker. And Aaron Rodgers right now has enough leverage after this season to say, no, you're not. And I'm proud of him, and I hope he does whatever it is he wants to do, whether it's leave or whether he makes the draft picks for them. He deserves to be able to do that, and I support him in that.
That's the part of this that makes sense. And I had Demovsky on the radio show yesterday, so we talked about this, Ryan. The part that makes sense is that he says, look, you need to guarantee me something here. I mean, let's put something in the contract that makes it clear. You're not just getting rid of me when you decide to. And he could get that this week. They could clearly do that if they want to, RC.
It seems that would be the compromise, that's what it's about. It's about saying that I know you've made this decision to get Jordan Love, but what about me? What does that say for me? What have I earned? And that's why you don't leave right after your exit interview with Matt LaFleur, because he's not making that decision. Just talk to the GM, talk to the president, figure out what is their future for you. How do they see you? How do they value you? And more importantly, how are you going to show me? And that's where Aaron Rodgers is right now. That's the position he has put himself in, not only by his play, but with his words, with his actions. And so now Aaron Rodgers wants some type of assurance that he can be the guy. And the other thing is this, though. It's like, I'm going to get you before you get me. And not many people have that opportunity. Aaron Rodgers is saying, you know what? If you think you're going to control where I go, you are out of your mind. I'm going to make that decision, and only me, and this is how.
That's exactly right. And so, Graziano, go through it again. I mean, Rob just said the money is not really a hindrance in a trade if they decided to do that now. What is that circumstance? How easy would it be to trade him right now?
Well, they would take a cap hit this year over $30 million, so it would be tough. But, you know, if you're ready to go with Jordan Love, he's not making any money, so that's kind of a wash. And then beyond this year, yeah, the money's not guaranteed. He's a $25 million a year player in 22 and 23, so that's appealing to any team. That's a great price for Aaron Rodgers, and it wouldn't cost the Packers anything to move on. But, I mean, I keep coming back to this. Like, you're Aaron Rodgers. Get the money guaranteed when you do the contract. Like, I don't understand why these guys don't push this. Like, he did the contract 2 years early. He had 2 years left on his contract when he did this extension.
Because
if he had dug in and said, I'm only signing if you fully guarantee the whole thing, what were they going to do?
It's because the thing that I was telling you, quarterbacks, they get treated in a different way, and they're like, oh no, I can trust you. I'm just a step below the coach. I kind of own this team too. We're friends, we're colleagues. No, you're not. You're a football player, and they're gonna find an opportunity to remind you of that.
Yeah.
So when he's negotiating that contract, it's pre-Jordan Love. He's like, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm the best quarterback y'all ever had. I won a Super Bowl. I'm the man. And then they go draft somebody over his head, and he's like, oh,
hey.
damn, they don't really love me like they say they
what
do.
What happened? I guess it wasn't really guaranteed after all. Maybe I should have got that in writing.
Go ahead, RC.
Darn right.
No, this was
Cousins.
Hey, this is exactly what happened when the hood turned on Lonzo in training day. He said, y'all gonna do this to me? I'm putting cases on all you, and that's what Aaron Rodgers is doing. He putting cases on all them right now. He said, y'all gonna do this to me. I'm finna go out and ball. I'm gonna get this MVP, and all you're gonna be able to do is think about the fact that you drafted my replacement right before the best year of my career. And now I gotta get the money. Now you gotta show me. But Dom is absolutely right. I've been in the meetings with quarterbacks. I've talked to them. I've heard the way that they look at negotiations. They don't look at it like we do. They never see the end. They never see it running out. They see it as their friends. And then when that harsh reality hits them, it's not the beautiful mystery that Aaron Rodgers is trying to make it. It's difficult to deal with, and now he's dealing.
That reality hit Drew Brees real early when he hurt his shoulder. That's why he was aggressive in negotiations. It hit Peyton Manning. That's why he was willing to be that way. And now it just hit Aaron Rodgers. And you're right. He's going to have them playing basketball in Pelican Bay if they keep messing around with him.
The bottom line of it is, look, they thought he was done. They thought he was on his way to being done, and that's why they drafted his replacement. He showed them this year that was wrong. Now it's his turn to dictate the timing. Okay, so that's that story. Now to the Super Bowl. Yesterday on my radio show, I did my green list, my list of the top 5 Super Bowl quarterback matchups of all time, bearing in mind that every quarterback could only be named once. And at number 5, I put Peyton Manning against Drew Brees in Super Bowl 44. You don't need me to tell you the numbers these two have put up. They're two of the most prolific players in the history of the sport. At number 4, Super Bowl 32, Brett Favre and John Elway. Favre was coming off his 3rd consecutive MVP season, but it was Elway who won his first Super Bowl championship. Number 3, Roger Staubach and Terry Bradshaw. Because they met twice, Super Bowls 10 and 13, and they were both epic. Both of them decided by 4 points. At number 2, Joe Montana and Dan Marino. That was Marino at his absolute best. Montana won the game, and Marino would never get back. But at number 1, and everyone on Twitter yelled at me, I have this year, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. This is the best quarterback matchup in Super Bowl history. It'll actually be the first ever Super Bowl between the last 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, but that's not even the point. This is, and Tony Romo said it on the telecast the other day, Ryan Clark, this is like if Michael Jordan got to play LeBron James in the finals right now. We actually get to see it. Their age is generally close enough. They're 18 years apart in age that we actually get to see the all-time great against the heir to his throne. To me, it's the best Super Bowl matchup ever. Do you want to change my mind?
I absolutely do not, Michael. This is a great list, and sometimes your lists aren't necessarily great, but this one is right on the money. And what's even worse is, as you gave me the top 5, I realized how awful all of those seemed compared to this one. I mean, even Montana and Marino, who at that time was probably the closest to this, right? Marino with the quick release, with the rocket arm, and then Joe Montana with all the skill, the mind, also the wins. It seemed that's probably the closest, and that's not even in the same stratosphere as this meeting. And it is like LeBron and Jordan. But the crazy part about it to me, it's flipped. Right? The guys are flipped because Jordan came first, but Patrick Mahomes has that Jordan feel. I've been balling ever since I got in. I'm that guy. And then LeBron with the longevity seems like Brady. And we're to see that matchup. We could only simulate this on Madden if we wanted to see it, but we're getting it in real life. And for me, I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Dominique, would you want to change my mind?
Nah, I can't change your mind. I mean, I would argue that my man Terry Bradshaw, the original TB12, should be higher on the list, but maybe not number one. But I don't think anything is better than the matchup we have right now. That's as good as it gets. I mean, RC said all the reasons why, and I think it's going to be a great game. And it's not even like Tom Brady didn't play well last week, but it's not like he's all the way past his prime. He's had moments this year where he's reached his prime. It's as good as we've seen Brady play, especially attacking down the field. So we could get a tremendous game, especially with the injuries to the offensive line of the Chiefs is going to make it a little tougher for them to score. So that game's going to be great. But put my man TB12 at number 2 at least.
I love how you continue trying to make up with him ever since he got mad at you through me on the show a year ago. Graziano, any argument whatsoever here? Is this the best Super Bowl matchup of all time?
No, I can't change your mind on this. Look, Marino, Montana, interesting comparison because Marino was kind of what Mahomes is, right? Like we've never seen anybody throw the ball like this. Oh, he'll be back. He'll be in a million of these. And of course, we know now that he wasn't. So he's kind of the ghost of Christmas past there for Patrick Mahomes. But even in that matchup, Montana was still relatively early, right? It wasn't Montana at the end of his career like we're seeing with Brady.